Thank you for joining us today for this special presentation on educational access challenges with COVID-19, Bridging the Digital Divide. My name is Juliette Stipeche, Mayor Sylvester Turner's Director of Education for the City of Houston.
And I'm Brandon Denton, Associate Director for Mayor's Office of Education as well. COVID-19 has transformed the way we work, the way we learn, and interact with one another. In 2019, I never used Microsoft Meetings, Zoom, Skype, or FaceTime. 9 weeks ago, my digital learning curve was steep, and the experience was novel. Today, virtual meetings consume my days. My home serves as a remote office. Finding the work-life balance is challenging, but this experience is wholly out of reach without tech. I am blessed with the essentials, hardware, and internet access. But what happens if you don't happen to have a relationship with tech in these troubling times? What happens to students who do not have access to computers or internet access or digital instructional supports?
COVID-19 and remote learning has accelerated the tremendous need for educational access, opportunity, and equity, which is inextricably linked to the digital access and fluency that our youth need today. Local superintendents of the City of Houston and public and private partnerships have been working very hard to create a strategic plan. The Mayor's Health Equity Task Force has created a technology subcommittee to address these issues. Today, we're going to delve deeper into this issue to determine creative, collaborative, and innovative solutions to address this issue and how to examine this issue from a long-term strategic perspective with a focus on educational access and equity. But before that, we're going to take a short break. Stay tuned.
Worried your friend's struggling but don't know how to reach out?
You could say, how are you, or get a fake tattoo. You could ask with an app if it works for you. You could write them a text or knit them a sweater. If you can't be together, you could write them a letter. Whatever gets you talking. Whatever gets you talking. You could chat on the game, kick off your flip-flops. You could ask on your couch while you binge watch. However you do it, you gotta ask a friend. And if they don't share, you can ask again. Whatever gets you talking. Whatever gets you talking.
There are a lot of ways to reach out to a friend about their mental health. Learn how you can help at seizetheawkward.org.
I'm Slim Thug. I recovered from COVID-19. Protect yourself and protect your loved ones and mask up.
As we reopen our city, it's important that we do it safely. Continue to wear your mask in public.
Wear it like a boss.
Mask up, Houston.
With coronavirus spreading, people at higher risk must take extra precautions. You are at higher risk if you're over 65 or if you have an underlying medical condition like heart disease, chronic lung disease, diabetes, or if your immune system is compromised for any reason. If you're at higher risk, stay 6 feet or 2 arm lengths away from others. Better yet, stay home if you can. The choices you make are critical. Please visit coronavirus.gov for more information.
Wash hands now. Wash hands now. Wash hands now. Wash hands now. Hand washing is one of the best ways to stay healthy all year long.
Welcome back. Today, we are pleased to be joined by a good friend of mine, Colin Dempsey from CompuDot, regarding collaborations to support our local youth. So how you doing today, Colin?
I'm great. How are you, Brandon?
I'm fantastic. So tell us kind of what's going on at CompuDot during this time.
Yeah, so CompuDot, we're a nonprofit based in Houston since 2007, and our mission is to provide technology access and education to particularly underserved youth. So the recent COVID crisis has triple underlined our mission to get technology out to students. So as of today, we've given out over 4,400 computers for free to families in need here in Houston. and that's only since March 18th.
Right.
So we've been kind of working 24/7 to try and get as many families access as possible.
That's fantastic. So we always enjoy working with you all at CompuDot, and we appreciate the service that you all provide, especially with the collaboration with Russell Westbrook recently. Tell us a little bit about that. We know, but tell the people about how.
Right, yeah. So we were able to partner with your office and the mayor's office for the city to get computers out to students, and Russell Westbrook stepped up to donate 600 computers to families in need. You know, the impact is really, we can say 600 computers, but it really is invaluable to these families who maybe between 3 or 4 siblings are trying to split one computer or one cell phone to stay connected to learning. So these computers really did go a long way to keeping kids connected during distance learning.
Yeah, and so coronavirus has really impacted the whole education system. We have had a lot of youth having to do digital learning at home. What did the digital divide look like prior to Houston, and what do you think it looks like moving forward?
Right. So the digital divide is a 3-legged stool. So there's the hardware piece. So having a computer at home. There's the connectivity piece. So being able to get online once you have that hardware. And then there's the tech knowledge. So the digital literacy that students need to be able to connect to that Zoom meeting or to be able to troubleshoot their own computer. And at CompuDopt, our mission is to solve 2 of those, which is the access to a device as well as the digital literacy skills. And before COVID, 1 in 4 families living at or below the poverty line in Houston didn't have access to a computer at home. And while they could use places like our local libraries or a school, it really wasn't possible for families to access those resources. And it's become even more impossible with everything closing to do that now. So the digital divide has always been here in Houston, but COVID has really put a spotlight on the current realities for a lot of our families.
And so give me an example. The families drive up to CompuDot's location.
Yeah.
Everyone on your team is with PPE and mask and everything.
Right.
Are you putting everything in the trunk? What's that process look like? And what are some of the reactions that you're getting from families and children? Are they happy about it? Are they elated? What is that reaction like?
I think the main reaction we get from families as they get a computer from us is, when do I have to return it? And or is this mine to keep? And the answer is yes.
It's real.
Yeah, it's real. And it's a little bit unbelievable. This is a binary problem. You either have tech access or you don't. And it's very easy to solve.
Yeah.
And so by getting these computers out to families, they are getting a portal to all the resources that their families need, whether that's telemedicine, whether that's looking for jobs, whether that's applying for state or government benefits. You need a computer to get those things done. It's an essential need nowadays. And I think a lot of folks believe, kids grew up as digital natives. They've had iPhones in their hands since they were born. But that doesn't mean that they always have the tools that they need or the skills that they need to navigate the systems that we have online. Yeah. So being able to provide families these computers, they drive away, kids are excited, parents are excited, because it's not just a tool for kids. It's a tool for the parents, grandparents, aunts, uncles, whoever's living in the home to get access to the resources they need. Exactly.
Well, that's huge, and congratulations again. Going back to the Russell Westbrook partnership, that was fun but yet impactful. And it enhanced the work you all are doing at CompuDot, but it also has brought gained the attention of Councilmember Cisneros. And so can you talk a little bit about the projects or programs you have going on with her?
Yes, so we are excited to partner with Councilmember Cisneros for her district, where CompuDot is located, to provide 550 computers to constituents inside District H. And Councilmember Cisneros has always driven to get technology in the hands of students and into the hands of families, and so this really aligned with her work in the district. And so we'll be using our lottery system that we developed at the start of COVID to select families to receive a computer on June 20th. And so families are going to be contacted in the next couple weeks about picking up their computer on that day.
Gotcha. So, coronavirus is still happening. Are you still receiving donations? If people want to give to CompuDot or help and serve, how can they do that?
Yeah, so we're running low on inventory. We've given out by June 15th, about 7,000 computers to families, and our main mission is to refurbish computers that are headed for the dump. They're great computers. We get them reconditioned and out to families. Sure. So we're taking gently used computer donations on June 15th at our warehouse. People can drive through and drop off a computer. we're a nonprofit, so it's tax deductible, that donation, and we'll turn that computer around and give it out to a family in need. So that's one way that people can support. If you do have the means, you can support us financially. It costs us about $200 to get a computer into the hands of a child. There you go, yeah. So you can visit our website at compudop.org to donate there and find out more about our programming.
Gotcha. So how will CompuDot be kind of addressing the digital divide moving forward? I know you're giving away computers. Is there anything else that you all will be doing moving forward?
Yeah, so for us at CompuDop, it's about more than just a computer, right? It's a great tool to have in your toolbox, but without the skills or the knowledge to use it, it may as well be a brick, right?
Yeah.
So getting kids connected and continuing on with our after-school enrichment programming is going to be one of our goals moving into the fall.
Okay.
We provide elementary through high school programming, career and technical education for our high school students in the areas of tech that we're hoping to expand not only at our location, but also on our digital platform.
Awesome. Well, I know everybody's busy.
Right.
I'll probably see you on a new Zoom meeting coming up next week.
Exactly, yeah.
But thank you all for, thank you and your CompuDot for everything that you all are doing and for your service to the community. Appreciate you joining us today, and be well, my friend.
Yeah, thanks for having us. We appreciate it.
You got it.
Yeah.
So up next, Jesse Bounds, Director of Innovation for the Mayor's Office, will discuss plans for digital equity in the city of Houston. We'll be right back.
I'm Carlos Correa of your Houston Astros, and I want to encourage everybody to be a team player and mask up.
As we reopen our city, it's important that we do it safely. Continue to wear your mask in public.
Wear it like an all-star.
Mask up, Houston.
Worried your friend's struggling but don't know how to reach out?
You could say how are you or get a fake tattoo. You could ask with an app if it works for you. You could write them a text or knit them a sweater. If you can't be together, you could write them a letter. Whatever gets you talking. Whatever gets you talking. You could chat on the game, kick off your flip-flops. You could ask on your couch while you binge watch. However you do it, you gotta ask a friend. And if they don't share, you can ask again. Whatever gets you talking. Whatever gets you talking.
There are a lot of ways to reach out to a friend about their mental health. Learn how you can help at seizetheawkward.org.
How do you protect yourself and others from coronavirus? Avoid touching your eyes, your nose, and your mouth.
Wash your hands often with soap and water for 20+ seconds.
Clean and disinfect surfaces and objects.
Together, we can help slow the spread.
Hey, welcome back to the show. I'm Jesse Bounds, Director of Innovation for the Mayor's Office. Joining me now is Gabby Rowe, my fellow co-chair with her Health Equity Response Task Force Technology Access Subcommittee. And we're talking about a really important topic today, which is technology access to for Houstonians during this pandemic, but also broader, just having people who need technology during this time and beyond to be able to access that technology.
Absolutely.
I guess I'll start off talking a little bit about the task force and what we're trying to do. You know, we're looking at providing at-home digital access to Houstonians. Why do people need at-home digital access?
Well, I think that definition in particular, having it at home, is so important. And we're looking at it right now through the lens of COVID, of course, but digital access has been something that's been talked about for a very long time. And it's the ability to get information online, be online, to fill out forms, to learn online. It has always been something that is a supplement, is a benefit, is a leg up in terms of learning and growing within a community. What that has turned into in a post-COVID world is an incredible chasm that can't be crossed if you don't have that digital access. You no longer can get your school class work. You no longer can submit forms for unemployment. You cannot visit with your doctor. And for those people who would access that digital content in a library or in their school, that is no longer possible in a pandemic like COVID, or for that matter, in a hurricane like Harvey or Katrina. So this is a longer term problem that needs to be solved.
Yeah, and I know that so much of our focus has been on students and remote learning. You know, now across the region, you know, millions of students are now having to learn from home, and you know that might be a part of reality for the next you know for quite a while. So. How are we accessing or identifying the needs of these students and providing them with the digital tools that they need to succeed?
Well, first we need to find the students and identify who in our community does not have digital access within their home. We have some data on that, but it is not something that has been systematically and historically collected. So. That we have to figure out first. At the same time, we also have to identify what technology is necessary, and technology changes on a daily basis, and the kind of technology necessary to be able to stream video, to be able to not just watch content, but interact the way you have to in a digital school setting, is very sophisticated technology. It requires a lot of bandwidth. Imagine you have 3 children doing the same thing in a household, or 2 children and a parent required to do that. It's extremely important for us to get that technology piece right. Then it is about making sure that the tools are in place for the technology to be leveraged and used within those homes. But as I said before, it's no longer a difference between a basic foundation of education and then digital access is a sort of uptick on top of that. Digital access has now become the dividing line between the haves and the have-nots. And in the world of education, we often argue about the downside of missing 1, 2, 3, 4 days of school, or maybe a week. We're talking about children missing months. The impact on their long-term education, their ability to partake in an innovation economy, their ability to have jobs, and sustain those jobs over the long term are all significantly negatively impacted by not being able to cross that line for learning.
Yeah, it's no longer a luxury, it's a necessity. We absolutely need to, and you know, you can't just access it through a mobile phone. Like you can't do your homework on a mobile device. I know that a lot of students are having to do that, and but you know, talk to me about some of the hardware requirements that are needed in order to get students and you know, people who need to access the internet. What do they need in order to fulfill those needs?
Well, we've taken to looking at digital access as a continuum. It's not simply a switch that you flip and say, okay, now I'm going to provide access to that home and everything's fine. And that continuum starts first with, is there bandwidth within your community? And we're very fortunate in the city of Houston. For the urban core of Houston, there's fairly good coverage. It becomes a little bit more challenging as you reach more rural areas on the edges of Houston. But once you get past that geographic connectivity, then you have to look to what kind of bandwidth access can a household get, and in what form. Should it be a wire coming into that house, or should it be a hotspot that can then move around with the family? Where we are right now in COVID, our preference is to look at hardware that can go with the person. We're going to have a great deal of change and movement in where people live and whether or not people are able to stay in their homes for the next, 18, 24 months, whatever time you want to pick, it's significant. And so if you focus on hotspots, then you have to think, what is that hotspot capable of? Is it capable of having one person stream video, or that household I referred to before where you have 3 children learning? So getting that correct piece of equipment. And then last, and I think probably the most important when you talk about doing work on the smartphone is having a device with a keyboard.
Yeah.
Seems very basic and simple, but without a keyboard, you can't submit homework, you can't fill out forms in a really robust way. You know, you can maybe check the box on a phone, but very difficult to do that. And you can't interact in a written form doing things like coding or more complex, the learning you would do in complex classes in high school if you don't have that keyboard.
Yeah.
And so by simply handing a student a smartphone or a family handing them a tablet and saying, okay, you're online now, we have not really looked at what it is that it takes to be truly online in our society today and in a COVID world.
Absolutely, yeah. It's the three-legged stool of digital equity is internet access, it's hardware devices to access the internet, and it's also digital literacy, or being able to know how to use the tools. Right. Can you talk a little bit about, we've talked a lot about the needs. Mm-hmm. What's the strategy to fulfill those needs? It sounds like it's going to be very, very expensive. It sounds like it's going to require a ton of coordination. Can you talk a little bit about what the task force is looking at in terms of fulfilling those needs?
Well, I think it has to do with planning, prioritization, and collaboration. And first we have to plan by understanding what is the need. And instead of guessing at it, getting real data. Where are those homes that need digital connectivity? How many users are there? And how do we prioritize that use based on the age, grade, and potentially health needs also within a household? And then the planning of rollout and logistics and securing of hardware, and that's when the collaboration comes in, because as you said, it is going to be expensive. Yeah. And it is going to take commitment from government, but also from industry partners, and not just the internet providers. It's got to be hardware providers and other industry partners who need this talent to grow up in a way that is going to allow them to fill the jobs of these companies in the future. We have all, as Houstonians, have to commit to closing this equity gap, or we are not going to be able to develop the economic recovery for our city that we need to continue to flourish for the years to come.
Yeah, it's it's a huge goal. How would you see success being measured over the short term? Mm-hmm. Over what does success look like in a year from now, 2 years from now?
Yep. Well, short term it is developing a really concrete map of the need. Yeah. So we are able to say in 3 months that we know where the holes are before students go back to school in the fall. And then longer term, sort of medium term, we have put the systems in place to continue to track that data on an ongoing basis and continue to make sure that our doctors are asking questions like, do you have access to telemedicine in your home? Do you have digital access? And having our schools ask those same questions. And how many students are in your household? And then long term, prioritizing digital access and digital equity across a broader spectrum within Houston. And that is something that I think we have to have more dialogue about. And that means putting digital equity front and center and making it an essential part of our economic recovery.
Well said. Thank you so much for all that you do for Houston, Gabby. And with that, we'll be right back after these messages.
Thank you, Jesse.
I'm Carlos Correa.
I'm Simone Biles.
I'm Slim Thug. I recovered from COVID-19. Protect yourself and protect your loved ones and mask up.
I want to encourage everybody to be a team player and mask up.
Mask up like a champ to protect yourself and everyone else.
As we reopen our city, it's important that we do it safely. Continue to wear your mask in public.
Wear it like an all-star.
Wear it like a champ.
Wear it like a boss.
Remember, we're all in this together. Mask up, Houston.
Welcome back. While Juliette and I know that the COVID-19 virus is an equal opportunity virus, it is clear that COVID-19 has exacerbated the existing educational gaps that exist between children growing up in high poverty populations and their peers. Children with fewer resources from their schools and within their homes are at very high risk of falling behind in their schoolwork. We have heard of summer slide, but now we hear of the coronavirus or COVID-19 corruption.
You're right, Brandon. What we do today to solve the digital divide will have a tremendous impact on Houston's education, our workforce, and our economic future. We don't need the digital divide to create more inequity in student performance. We urge direct service providers, philanthropy, and tech experts in our community to please offer us support. We need help in determining a transformative and innovative strategy to increase access for all children and their families, especially the most vulnerable. The CARE Act potentially provides funding to support access and connectivity at our local K-12 schools. We need Houstonians to urge that these funds should be dedicated and used to helping us bridge the digital divide.
Well, it's been a very informative show, and I like your cap and gown. I'm excited to see how we can work to bridge this digital divide as well. So also, please visit Mayor's Office of Education webpage at www.houstontx.gov/education for more resources. On our webpage, we have e-learning resources and supports during this time of need. These resources come to us from our local, state, and national partners. So please share with us quality, low-cost, and no-cost resources that you offer, and we will consider adding it to our resources page.
So we also wanted to let everyone know about Mayor and the City of Houston's plan to celebrate the class of 2020. You're probably wondering why I'm wearing my cap and gown, and that's the reason. Mayor recognizes that this has been a challenging year for our local seniors. School closures have taken away so many milestones, from the senior class trip to prom to special moments with their classmates.
When COVID-19 arrived, our local school districts diligently worked with local, state, and national officials to follow health and safety rules. The difficult but necessary decision to close our schools' houses was made almost 3 months ago, but education has persevered.
We want to thank all the amazing local superintendents who have worked with their principals, teachers, teacher aides, paraprofessionals, librarians, nurses, bus drivers, custodial staff, food service workers, wraparound specialists, IT professionals, school boards, and parents, and everyone in the school community who has brought us to this point. And at the drop of the hat, we know that these educators rose to the occasion to help our community.
Yep, this unique class of scholars has persevered through one of the most challenging times in our recent history with remarkable resilience. You earned your title, graduating senior, and it's time for the City of Houston to celebrate and honor your achievements. Congratulations.
Mayor Turner has reached out to our local superintendents to work together to create a one-of-a-kind citywide celebration for the distinguished class of 2020 on the evening of June 5th, 2020. We've been working together to create a collective but very personal celebration with the Mayor's Office of Special Events as well as Houston First. And we've been working very hard to create a virtual and in-person outdoor celebration focused on health, safety, and well-being of our seniors and their community.
So we look forward to this historical, first-of-its-kind celebration for our seniors. And please don't forget to mark your calendar for upcoming City of Houston Childhood and Youth Committee meetings that take place every second Wednesday of the month.
Thank you so much. We look forward to sharing more about all of these exciting endeavors. Remember to mark your calendar for the Houston Celebrates Our 2020 Seniors on June 5th, 2020. And congratulations to all our seniors. Best of luck. We love you.
Take care.